Those that follow me on social media and watch this programme will have noticed that over the last few days I've been becoming increasingly frustrated with this government. Too much sophistry, too much playing games with numbers, and goodness gracious me, they were at it again today, but this time they really have been caught out. Here was the Home Secretary, James Cleverly, doing the media rounds this morning.
Well, the backlog refers to cases that were put in before the 28th of June 2022. There was a change in legislation at that point, which meant that they were processed under a former set of criteria. And the Prime Minister committed to clear that backlog in 2023, and we did that.
Well, that's okay, but of course the problem is that they really weren't putting that out on their own social media sites. They were really giving us the idea that somehow the whole thing had been sorted out. And Twitter, or X as it's now known, put out a community note on the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, which said this: the backlog has not been cleared. The Prime Minister's pledge was to process 92,000 pre-June 2022 applications by the end of 2023. Around 100,000 cases have since entered the system which have not been processed. An additional 4,000 pre-2022 applications remain unsolved. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, one thing Elon Musk did say was that whilst X would be a platform for free speech, he would correct people if they said things that were wholly untrue. But if you delve more deeply into the figures, you find some very interesting things. That 112,000 applications were processed, on which 77,000 decisions were made. Of the 77,000 decisions, 67% have been allowed to stay. So you come by boat across the English Channel, you have no passport, no means of saying or proving who you are, and you've got a 70% chance of staying. Compare this to France, where last year their approval rate was 25%. I wonder, is Rishi's solution for pretty much everyone to stay? Is that how we clear the backlog? Is that how we deal with the problem? Would welcome your thoughts on that rather sarcastic question, although I don't think I'm wrong. Farage at GBNews.com. So the whole thing is driving me bonkers. It would also appear that 17,000 people have simply disappeared. Just disappeared. I can only guess they've joined criminal gangs or whatever else it may be. But what is for certain is that this whole issue of illegal immigration and legal immigration is rapidly climbing up towards the top of the list of political priorities in this country, as I always thought it would. Yes, the unfashionable views of Nigel Farage now have to be recognised by the mainstream.